Yo, what's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome back to the channel. No matter where you're watching from or how you're tuning in, much love for rocking with us as always. And trust me, today's episode is one you don't want to miss, especially if you're fired up about this Eagles team heading into the 2025 season. We've got a lot to break down, and unfortunately, not all of it is good news for the Birds' defense. There's a big storyline developing around one of the brightest young coaches in the NFL. And depending on how things unfold, it could spell trouble for Philly next offseason. But before we dive deep into that, I've got a little challenge for you. Jump down in the comments and fill in this blank for me. The Eagles will have a top Jaguar coordinated defense in the NFL in 2025. I'm really curious to see where the fan confidence is right now, because this is going to be a very different unit than the one we saw dominate last season. Remember, we're talking about a group that had the #1 defense in all of football, but they lost over 4,000 snaps worth of experience during the offseason. Let that sink in for a second. Brandon Graham retired, CJ Gardner-Johnson traded, a bunch of major contributors either walked in free agency or moved on for various reasons. So yeah, there are holes to fill, and there's no doubt this year's defense will look and feel different. But how different and how good, that's where things get interesting. Now, here's where things take a turn. Around this time of year, when training camps are right around the corner and the NFL offseason is winding down, one of the hottest conversations around the league becomes about rising coaching stars. Coordinators who are just a breakout season away from landing a head coaching gig. You know how it goes. Every year, a few names blow up. A unit starts balling out, the cameras start focusing in, and suddenly that assistant coach becomes the talk of the league. This year, a few names have already started circulating. You've got Joe Brady, offensive coordinator with the Bills, Brian Flores doing work on the Vikings defense, Josh Griard, who took over in Tampa Bay after leaving Miami, Vance Joseph holding it down with the Broncos, Cliff Kingsbury back in the NFC East with Washington, Matt Nagy with the Chiefs, Zach Orr with the Ravens, and of course Steve Spagnuolo, the veteran defensive mind still putting in work for Kansas City. Those are the big ones. But let me tell you, there's another name that needs to be on that list. A name Eagles fans already know very well. Christian Parker. This guy right here is blowing up. Christian Parker, currently the defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator for the Eagles, is becoming one of the hottest young coaches in the entire NFL. Around league circles, his name is buzzing. He's got the tools, the charisma, the energy, and most importantly, the respect of his players. He's one of those coaches you can just tell has head coach material written all over him. And here's the thing, if the Eagles defense shows up again this season, even if they're not #1 like they were last year, Parker is going to be in the conversation for serious promotions. Defensive coordinator somewhere, maybe even head coach material depending on which teams are looking. And that's where the bad news starts creeping in for Philly fans. Let's talk about Christian Parker's background real quick, because the resume, it's impressive. He started coaching back in 2013 and 2014 at Virginia State, working with the defensive backs. Then moved to Norfolk State for a couple of years in the same role. By 2017, he was on the staff at Notre Dame, helping as a defensive analyst under Brian Kelly. In 2018, he did the same at Texas A&M, and then came the big leap, the NFL. Parker joined the Green Bay Packers in 2019 and 2020 as a defensive quality control coach. And it didn't take long for people to realize this guy was legit. While he was with Green Bay, he played a key role in developing Jair Alexander, who turned into an all-pro cornerback under Parker's watch. That's no small feat. Then came the Denver chapter. He was brought to the Broncos by none other than Vic Fangio, a defensive mastermind in his own right, to coach the defensive back starting in 2021. He stayed there for 3 years, and his impact was massive. Think about this. Under Christian Parker, Patrick Surtain II developed into one of the best cornerbacks in the game and ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year. Justin Simmons became an All-Pro. That's not just talent on the field, that's coaching making a real difference. And then came the Eagles. When Fangio took the defensive coordinator job in Philadelphia heading into the 2024 season, one of his first calls was to Parker. He wanted him in Philly, period. And thanks to the Denver Broncos letting him out of his contract, that reunion happened. Parker joined the Eagles as both the defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator. And man, did it pay off. Let's not forget, last season, the Eagles had one of the most dominant secondaries in all of football. Rookie corners Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean stepped in and played like seasoned veterans. Darius Slay looked rejuvenated. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, the entire safety unit, they held it down in coverage and made plays all season long. And guess what? That complex Fangio defense that gives so many young DBs trouble, Parker helped get everyone up to speed fast. He knew the scheme inside and out, and the results were undeniable. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, both rookies, not only started but balled out. They were the top 2 rookie corners in man coverage across the league. You don't do that unless you've got elite coaching, and Parker deserves a ton of credit. His ability to teach, to connect, to communicate, it's special. That Eagles secondary was firing on all cylinders, and Parker was a huge reason why. And it's not just about coaching technique either. This guy gets the bigger picture. He manages the passing game, defense. He works across position groups. He understands how to game plan, how to adjust, how to evaluate talent. These are the traits that separate great assistants from future head coaches. Now think about this. Parker's been connected to Vic Fangio's system for years. He knows every nuance of that defense, and he's proven he can teach it and run it at a high level. That's why when you start hearing the buzz about head coaching candidates in the next cycle, his name is going to be up there. Young, sharp, energetic, a great communicator, and already proven at the NFL level. It's not a matter of if he becomes a head coach, it's when. And if the Eagles defense stays elite this year, that timeline could speed up fast. Let's be real. Parker leaving wouldn't be the end of the world. He's not irreplaceable, but man, it would hurt. He's been instrumental in the development of his young secondary. He's one of the main voices in the defensive meeting rooms. And he's got the trust of Fangio, the players, and the entire coaching staff. If he walks out the door next offseason to take a bigger job, whether it's as a defensive coordinator or even a head coach, that's going to leave a real void. And for a team like the Eagles that's trying to stay at the top of the NFL, continuity matters. Just think about how much Parker has accomplished in such a short time. Green Bay helped build an all-pro corner. Denver coached the Defensive Player of the Year. Philly took 2 rookie corners and turned them into studs in year 1. That's a resume right there. And guess what? Sean Payton, yes, that Sean Payton is reportedly very high on Parker as well. If a guy like that sees the potential, you know teams around the league are paying attention. In today's NFL, where coaching turnover happens fast and teams are always searching for the next young star on the sideline, Christian Parker checks all the boxes. He connects with players, he teaches, he evaluates, he leads. He's got that it factor, and he wears Jordans on the sideline, which honestly just adds to the vibe. The dude's got swag, and that stuff matters in today's league. Players want to play for coaches who get them, who understand the culture, who know how to teach and lead without being out of touch. Parker is that guy. And while we're being honest, Vic Fangio might still have a few more good years left as a defensive coordinator, but he's not the future of this coaching staff. Christian Parker could be. So losing him after the 2025 season, especially if he walks into a head coaching gig, could be a serious blow to the defensive infrastructure in Philly. It's one of those moves that wouldn't make headlines on day one, but by the time the next season rolls around, fans would feel the ripple effect. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In the ever-unpredictable landscape of the NFL offseason, few moves generate as much intrigue as the ones that almost slip under the radar. According to murmurs now echoing louder across the league, ESPN has reportedly confirmed that the Philadelphia Eagles have agreed to terms with veteran wide receiver Tyler Boyd, marking what could be one of the most cunningly quiet additions of the summer. The deal is still surrounded by mystery and not yet officially acknowledged by the franchise, has set off a wave of speculation among fans and analysts alike. Could this be the Eagles' stealth move to solidify an already potent offense? Or is it simply smoke without fire? A cleverly timed rumor to keep competitors guessing. Tyler Boyd, once a cornerstone of the Cincinnati Bengals passing game, brings a depth of experience, reliable hands, and sharp route running to any receiving core. While his numbers have slightly dipped in recent seasons, Boyd remains a formidable slot presence, capable of converting key third downs and drawing coverage away from marquee receivers. If the whispers hold weight, Boyd's arrival could provide a perfect complement to stars like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. What's particularly intriguing is how little noise surrounded the alleged negotiation. In a league where nearly every transaction leaks before the ink dries, the Eagles have seemingly pulled off a masterclass in discretion. Some insiders believe this subdued approach was intentional, designed to keep rivals from intervening or inflating Boyd's market value. Still, with no official statement from the team or Boyd's camp, the situation remains shrouded in just enough uncertainty to fuel further conjecture. Has Philadelphia pulled off the offseason's most underrated signing, or are we witnessing a misinterpreted whisper that grew into a headline? One thing is certain. If Tyler Boyd truly is bound for Lincoln Financial Field, the Eagles might have just made one of the smartest, most strategic moves of 2025. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.